In this video, we are going to discuss about Pearson Edexcel Chemistry 2C as best guess paper over there. And as a teacher with extensive experience analyzing Edexcel IGCSE past papers, I can definitely recurring themes, frequently assessed concepts, and common pitfalls. And this precise and accurate guess paper is not a leak of the actual exam, but it is a strategic forecast based on 2 decades of patterns over there. This is an expect prediction based on historical trends. You must revise your entire syllabus for this one. And Edexcel can and sometimes does introduce subtle variations over there. This guide highlights the areas of very high probability, which is approximately 90% over there. So I am going towards 2C chemistry paper, which is 4CH1 over there with the paper 2C as mentioned as the title of this video over there. So the following topics are almost guaranteed to appear in some form. This question will test your understanding, application, and skills. Okay, this question paper is going to test your understanding, application, and mathematical skills over there. Before starting my video, I will say kindly subscribe my channel, share the video, like the video with your classmates, and we are going to start here with our main section. Okay, section 1, which I am taking over here, section 1 over there. Then I will say the almost certain core topics guaranteed to appear in multiple questions over there. Number 1 is related to electrolysis over there. And in electrolysis, I will say that this is a cornerstone of paper 2C. Expect 4 to 6 marks question for it. 6 marks question for it over there. And which I predict for this, like you will be given a diagram of electrolysis setup and asked to label the anode and cathode, state of ionic equation for the reaction at each electrode, and describe the observation over there. So according to cathode and anode over there, you will have to go for its proper anode and their reactions, like cathode is for reduction and anode for oxidation in the form of loss of gain of electron, and loss of electron is going to happen over there. So I will say here that you will have to describe the observation. Common context will be taken according to molten ionic compounds like lead Pb bromide Br over there in the form of aqueous solution or in the form of molten solution over there. Copper sulfate solution with the inert carbon electrodes like in the form of graphite or concentrated sodium chloride can be taken over there. And you must be able to explain why a different product is formed when the compound is aqueous as compared to when it is molten over there. And here I will say it is due to the presence of hydrogen and hydroxyl ions of presence over there, because that is also present, and that different types of products can be expected into your final reactions over there. So you can be asked by ionic Hopf equations over there. For example, like Cu plus 2 is getting 2 electrons and is being converted into neutral copper over there. This is Hopf equation. Or you are provided with 2 chloride ions and you are getting it chlorine molecule there with 2 electrons. So we can take such Hopf equations over there. For hydroxyl ion, if I'm saying that is going to oxidize over there by the loss of electron, then I can say oxygen can be produced and water can be produced over there with the release of 4 electrons there. So this is related to your electrolysis, which I tried to summarize a little bit. After that, I will say we will have to go for moles and stoichiometry calculations. Moles and stoichiometry calculations will be required over there, where he can say go for the empirical formula based on percentage composition or mass data over there. First of all, empirical formula empirical formula for the calculation over there on the basis of their percentages, composition for the compound or mass data over there, using a balanced symbol equation to calculate the mass of reactant or product, like reacting masses, which are directly related to the balanced chemical equation over there. A question involving the concentration in gram per dm cube, gram per dm cube or gram per cm cube, and relationship between moles and concentration and volume, which we say N is equal to C multiply V, concentration multiply volume, for calculation of number of moles can be given over there. And be ready for a gas volume calculation using molar volume, which is mostly taken at room temperature and pressure, 24 dm cube. Sometimes cm cube is given. For that one, we use 24,000 cm cube value over there. This will be related to your moles calculation over there. After that, I will go towards energetics. Energetics, if I observe there, like a question on calculating energy changes, is highly likely, like you will be given an experimental data of mass, temperature, and then I can say it can be given with the the formula like mq is equal to mc delta T, which you already have used in physics paper over there for heat calculation to calculate the energy changes for the reaction. And you will be then asked to determine whether the reaction is exothermic or exothermic or endothermic over there, endothermic reaction over there, to predict like which type of reaction has happened. And remember that and state the energy change in kilojoules per mole over there, you will have to be required. And focus on calorimeter experiments dissolving a salt, displacement reaction, or combustion of a fuel, that which type of reactions they can show over there in the form. Mostly they are exothermic reactions over there. After that, I will move towards acid, base, and salts. Acid, bases, and salts over there. For this one, I will say this is a broad area that always features over there. So if I go for predictions towards it, I will say titration calculations. Titrations calculations are much required over there. You will be given data from titration like volume and concentration of solution. Volume will be given and concentration will also be given over there, and asked to calculate the concentration of the other, and this often links to moles over there, like N is equal to CV. I have already mentioned N is equal to C multiply V over there. And describing the method for making a pure dry sample of soluble salts over there. Soluble salts sample can be asked to you for this whole section over there. And for copper sulfate from copper oxide and sulfuric acid, you must know the steps like excess solid, filtration, evaporation, crystallization will be much involved with soluble salt samples over there. After that, I will say identifying the substances from the pH of litmus paper tests over there. Then I will say that pH or litmus tests, pH or litmus tests can be taken under consideration for identification of ions over there. And which ion causes alkalinity? Answer will be hydroxyl ion over there. So according to pH, you will have to identify the substances over there. After that, after titration and soluble salts formation, I will say the question can be going for rates of reaction over there, of reaction. Rates of reaction, if we go for this, then we say they love to test your understanding of how measure the rate and interpret graphs over there. So my prediction for this one, you will be given a graph of volume of gas versus volume of gas, and with respect to time over there, and there will be a graph plotting something like that. And you will be asked to calculate rate at specific point by drawing the tangent. Like for example, it is given here and you draw the tangent over there by taking 2 points on the tangent. By using the gradient over there, you can calculate rate at that point over there. And you will be asked to explain the effect of concentration on temperature, surface area, and on the rate. So using the Cluian theory, you can answer include the key phrases like frequency of successful Cluians, like that. Particle must have kinetic energy and activation energy over there. Kinetic energy and activation energies should be kept in mind properly over there. After that, there is a section. Now I am moving towards section 2 there. So section 2, section number 2 over here, then I will say here that high probability topics very likely to appear in structured questions related to organic chemistry. Organic chemistry over there. If I say about it, then I will say that a question focusing on the first four alkanes, alkenes, or alcohols is standard. And the prediction for this one, like first of all, I can go for testing of alkenes with the bromine water, which is decolorizes from orange to colorless bromine water, which changes its color from orange to colorless when it is being used for the testing of alkene over there. Then there can be the balanced equation for the complete combustion of an alkane like methane. Balanced chemical equation can be asked over there. And I can also say that there will be cracking phenomenon over there, can be asked to you according to the scenario of prediction over there, that stating the conditions catalyst like alumina Al2O3 with 600 degrees centigrade temperature, and explaining why it is done to produce more useful and smaller molecules like alkenes and petrol over there. And then I will say that there can be production of alcohols or ethanol, production of ethanol over there. Be prepared to compare fermentation like sugar plus yeast at temperature 30 to 40 degree and aerobic respiration over there with hydration of ethene, like ethene plus steam at 300 to 60 to 70 atm, and phosphoric acid as catalyst for the production of ethanol. You should be much prepared over there. After that, I will say for question number 7 there, it will be related to equilibria. Equilibria, if I talk about it, you will be given the equation like if I take Haber's process like N2 plus 3H2 gives to you 2NH3 over there. And forward reaction is exothermic over there. You will be asked to state and explain industrial conditions like temperature is 450 degrees centigrade and pressure which is taken as 200 atm over there, and catalyst for this reaction is taken as iron over there. And your explanation must show a compromise between high yield favored by high pressure and low temperature. It will be temperature should be high, and I will say that by high temperature should be low and pressure should be high. Pressure should be high over there. And after that, I will say that there will be chemical tests for ions and gases over there. Chemical tests for ions and gases, in which we mostly say this is question number 8 like that. And I will say for chemical tests for cations and anions, we can use aqueous NaOH and we can use aqueous NH3 over there. And both are being used. And you must know the test for hydrogen like squeaky pop with a lighted splint. Oxygen relights a glowing splint, and carbon dioxide turns lime water cloudy. For ions, focus on carbonate ion, add acid, test gas with lime water. Sulfate ions, add acidified barium chloride solution to white PPT. Chloride, bromide, iodide ions, add acidified silver nitrate solution. White, cream, and yellow PPT respectively are going to form over there. So if I go with the flame test for this, then I will say like lithium is going for crimson, sodium is going yellow, potassium lilac, and calcium brick red flame, and copper gives the blue green flame over there. And in the last section where I am saying group 1 alkali metals and group 7 halogens, like group 1 and group 7 elements, if I talk about them, then I will say here that group 1 like describe the reaction with water, vigorous, producing hydrogen and alkaline solution, and explain how reactivity increases down the group due to increasing atomic radius and shielding effect like that. So leading to easier loss of outer electron is responsible for group 1. And in case of group 7, describe the trends of reactivity decreases down the group. Remember that decreases down the group due to increasing atomic radius and shielding, making it harder to gain electron. And be ready for displacement reactions. Will chlorine displace like bromine from potassium bromide over there? Okay. After that, the last important section 3 over there. Section 3, it is very important for your exam over there, because if it says state 1, only give one answer. Read the question, and this will be related to exam techniques and common pitfalls to avoid. Read the question very carefully. Read the question very carefully. And you will have to say, it says state 1, only give one answer. It asks for an explanation. Don't just give one word answer. Command words are state, name, give. A short, direct answer is required. If we say describe, you need to write about what you would see, observation, or the steps in process. Explain, you must give a reason, often involving a scientific theory like Killian theory or electron transfer. Suggest, you may need to apply your knowledge to slightly unfamiliar context over there. If he is saying go for calculation, then or calculate, you must show you are working. Even if the final answer is wrong, you will get marks for the correct method over there. Remember that units always include units in your final answers in kilojoule per mole or gram per dm cube like that. Missing units can cost you a mark over there. Ionic equation, check your charges and number of atoms on each side, and they must be balanced. And balancing equation is a quick win. Practice until it's automatic. So final summary, if I will go for most must practice list over there here today, then I will say write the ionic equations for electrolysis. Ionic equation for electrolysis over there, you should go for it. Perform a full mole calculations, empirical formula, reacting masses and gas volumes over there. I will say go for moles calculation, full moles calculations over there. And then I will say calculate the energy change using Q is equal to mc delta theta. mc delta theta or delta T can be taken over there. Both can be used for this purpose. perform a titration calculation, draw and interpret a tangent on the rates of reaction graphs, explain the conditions for Haber process as a compromise, recall the test for 4 gases and 4 ions, explain the trend in group 1 and group 7 over there. And by closing this video, I will simply say here, by focusing your final revision on these precise areas, you can easily go for honoring your exam techniques, and you will be exponentially well prepared for your Edexcel IGCSE Chemistry Paper 2C. At the end, I will say best of luck for you. Best of luck. And after doing this paper, if you feel that it was much helpful for your preparation after performing your final exam in the examination center, kindly update me and kindly respond. Thank you so much. Comment the video, share the video. Allah Hafiz.